and we are here at the Mal Moore Athletic Facility with the head coach of Alabama football, Kalen DeBoer. Coach, this is awesome. This is a beautiful facility y'all have. Are you having a blast here so far, being the head coach for now a few months?
Yeah, it's been great. 3 months in, and spring ball almost wrapped up. Only 2 practices to go, so it's gone fast. But it's been really cool bringing the staff together, our players. We're where I'd hoped we'd be, and making every day matter. The guys are doing a great job.
So Andy Staples, one of my coworkers, came through here a couple weeks ago, asked you important question about your headwear. I want to know: are you rocking the salmon suit for the A Day? I know Coach Saban did that. Do we have our outfit picked out? Are we going with the blazer? Is there a vision for that yet?
I don't think I can pull that off like Coach did, and that was a great tradition, one that he was a big deal. But I think I got to go with who I am. So we'll don't know exactly what I'm going with yet. Based on traditions, it's an important move here, so I got to be smart with what we go with.
Well, there's zero chance I could pull that off either. So if that makes you feel any better, I think that's probably a just a Coach Saban thing. But when it comes to this job and maybe your expectations you had when you took it in January, how has the reality compared?
Yeah, I think it's not been much different than what I really imagined to be in. You knew the timeline based on when I got hired, that it was going to be quick and fast and furious. Whether it's the early signing day, which probably wasn't even that big of a deal, more of just keeping the roster intact, and then the quick flip to the beginning of spring ball, and now a lot of guys coming to campus, and just everything that goes along there with a lot of prospects coming by, and just the day-to-day operations. But the staff is a group of staff members, on and off the field, that have just really all taken their role, and ran with it the way I'd hoped, and really continue to push forward. And so got some big months here ahead with spring recruiting, and then of course official visits going into the summer. So we'll just continue to keep the pedal down.
And everyone's talking about the portal and spring practice. I mean, there's a million different headlines, obviously, since you've taken this job. Is there something that you wish folks were talking about a little bit more with you or with this team, or just a narrative that you wish was out there a little bit more with this football team?
No, I get it. I mean, I get that that's what the storylines are right now, and I mean, you always want more about your guys, and you're proud of them, and you also understand more and more of their individual journeys. And that time will come, though. We'll continue to just push those stories, those great things that your guys have been through, and that will continue to happen as I continue to get to know them as well.
Are there any of those guys that have maybe stood out more than others during? I mean, everyone's doing a great job, I'm sure, during spring ball, but anyone that you're like, man, this was someone that I wasn't super familiar with, but now he's done a phenomenal job during spring. Is going to help us in the fall.
I mean, yeah, we could probably go on and on and
Yeah.
on. There's just a lot of really great athletes out here that, came here for a reason, that's to win championships and to continue to grow and develop, on and off the field. And they've done that. And then they've really embraced our coaching staff, and, the little tweaks that are just different because, I'm a different head coach, than what they had before. And they've just taken it all in, and just continue to roll with it. And, you know, we're making it ours.
And John Wooden, the coach at UCLA for forever coaching basketball there, had that pyramid of success. I've heard you reference loosely you sort of having your own pyramid. What goes into that for you, and what makes that up?
Yeah, to me, it's it kind of revolves around what our goals are, and that's to win our the conference and national championship, and then we talk about winning it with class integrity and academic excellence. And so, to me, it's the foundation of how we're going to do things, but also what we're trying to accomplish. And that's really what that's always been. When I was a coordinator, it had just different things in different slots, but it talked about the core values, the non-negotiables. And for us, the non-negotiables as a team are to have a family atmosphere, kind of that feel of brotherhood, and that that you're playing for someone else, not just yourself here, and your teammates and how important they are, and then accountability, and then toughness.
Obviously, spring is not finished yet, so that you're still getting some more practices, and we got the A Day coming up. But when you look at your team right now, where they are in the spring, and to where you'd like them to be relative to that pyramid, how close are they to that?
Yeah, I mean, we're not there yet. We got ways to go, and just each and every day, though, we are taking those steps. And I think what I saw from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2, really is reminiscent of how we want it to be. The areas where maybe a position group or a side of the ball were a little bit deficient. What not where we needed to be. That focus and that emphasis happening the next few practices leading to the next scrimmage. You really saw things balance out. And now there's new things, right? It's just a greater detail. And we're continuing yesterday was a great practice in that way, and I anticipate tomorrow's practice to be very competitive. We're not going with your typical spider pads. We already had that practice last week. We're going to roll and get after it again tomorrow, and then Saturday's the game. So we're going to take advantage of every moment, every rep that these guys get to take.
So a lot of folks got introduced to Jalen Milroe last year, and clearly just must see TV for college football fans. Like anytime he tucked in and runs, you're like holding your breath. Is there a tailoring of the offense that you're doing even during spring practice right now, or how? What's the split, if you will, between running what you've run previously and then tailoring that to a guy like Jalen Milroe?
Yeah, he's certainly got a different skill set, and you alluded to the fact that him as a runner is something that you have to make sure that you're going to be able to utilize. And right now, though, we're just installing the offense, and so with the skill around him, and that always being going to be the case where we need to bring in and make every one of the receivers, running backs, tight ends a threat. We just got to learn the whole offense, run game, but also I think we're talking about the passing game. He needs to be able to distribute the football and make the throws, make the reads. He's really growing and developing in that way. Really, really happy with what we've seen. And then I think, as a runner, he needs to understand that that's a skill set that 99% of the country doesn't have.
Mhm.
And he is that guy. Can go anytime on the length of the field, and the coordinators hopefully holding their breath each and every night and each and every play. But he needs to just stay the course and but not forget what makes him different.
Because you mentioned playmakers. You had the equivalent of the Monstars at Washington last year in your wide receiver room from Roma Dunze and Jalen Polk and guys like that. How does this group compare to what you had at Washington? And I guess, utilizing them in this offense.
Yeah, I think what you saw there too was guys in their second year, and really going through. And so they had to learn the offense. Obviously, a ton of skill, great, but those guys worked. Those guys worked, and yes, God given talent and things like that. But they worked, and they worked, individually. They worked collectively. They worked with the quarterbacks, with Penix, and so that's what these guys, they're making those steps daily. They're putting in the work. They're working on their individual route running, and just getting more comfortable. And that's going to be a theme that they continue to hear from us. And throughout the summer, they got to put in the work. In fall camp, they got to put in the work, and every day, throughout even the season, we just got to keep getting better and better. People are going to recognize what those things are that are our strengths, and are going to adjust to us. And then we got to have other things that we can do to where we can make those counter adjustments also.
Is there a vision for this team defensively that's different from previous squads? Obviously, Kane Walmick, running the defense for you this year. How do you see that when you fast forward the tape a year down the road with what this defense will be?
Yeah, I think there's naturally going to be some differences. I think the structure of the secondary and what the appearances there will look a little different. But as much as things are different, I think they're still the same. And the way we utilize some of our outside linebacker edge type players, and the interior D line is going to be what it is. And so maybe tendencies and how you call things, and just that's the style that goes along with, just like it would be for a head coach. It is what it is when you're a coordinator too, and it's gonna be different. So I really like the way we've come along. Again, that progression from the beginning to scrimmage one to scrimmage two, and then these last couple practices, just really going to the spring recruiting or summer with a lot of confidence and a lot of uh, areas where we can continue to see that growth is going to lead us into a great fall camp.
Is Roll Tide Willie on staff yet? Or is he analyst role? Are we gonna get him in there in the spring game to call a few plays? I know he likes to
We haven't
blitz.
gone there. He definitely likes the blitz, and so yeah, he made an appearance at practice the other day, and it was I'd never met him, and it was fun to have him there, and I think our guys really enjoyed that.
Social media gold. I mean, for me personally, just scrolling through the Twitter timeline, I'm like, that's awesome. I'm gonna go play for Bama. Speaking of recruiting, like you just mentioned, when you have those big time guys, whether it be on the phone or on campus, what is the pitch or the conversation for you to bring them to Tuscaloosa?
In a certain position or
I mean,
all.
just overarching. If you have a certain
Yeah,
position and
yeah,
it's in a certain formula, that's great too.
I think each coach, each side of the ball kind of has their things that they're catering to, and you're going to talk about the spots in the program where maybe we're short numbers, and there's a great opportunity to step on the field sooner than later, just because of guys graduating on or what you anticipate here in the year or years to come. And then I think there's also just the style of play, and guys that fit our style, and you can talk all the way across the board from the running backs and the number of carries our guys have gotten, even last year, within this system, to what we're going to do defensively and where the ball gets funneled to in the secondary, or who's making the plays and the dynamic players that it takes on the outside and the edges. The opportunities to get to the quarterback and cause havoc in the backfield. So there's a lot of just those type of selling points that are made each and every day by each position coach when players come in. It's just make sure also that we're getting to know each other, and the relationships are really what it's going to be all about. And I think that's what you hear from most guys when they walk in the door is how's that fit going to be with their coach and the players that are here.
Yeah, coach, you just mentioned Justice Haynes, or you mentioned the running back room. In my mind, I'm thinking about Justice Haynes because that dude's built like a truck. What's been your impressions of him so far this spring?
Yeah, I think he and Jam Miller just doing a great job. They've kind of alternated really most of the reps and just keeping them healthy, but also getting them the reps in the new system and processing and all that. But yeah, Justice does all of that. You're asking specifically about him. He packs that punch. He's got the speed. He's been really a great learner. And open to everything that we've been throwing at him.
Awesome. Well, coach, last question for you. We appreciate all your time. Everyone that gets a microphone like me gets to talk about expectations for Bama and what's going to happen, win, loss, all that. For you, whether it be a win, loss number or not, is there expectations or a definition of success for you for year one here in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get into the number of wins and things like that. We understand what the expectations are here, and that's to be a championship caliber team, and that's what we're going to strive to be. The way we do it is what we're really focused on, and we're going to every day, make that progress. I was kind of talking about from spring ball to summer and so forth, and we got to make sure that all the way through the season, that we continue to evolve, continue to adjust, continue to grow and develop individually and as a unit, as a program, to where we're playing our best ball at the end. But we do have to be ready to go at the beginning of the season, and make sure we're ready to go and get those wins that are needed. As you accumulate them to the end of the year and get those championship opportunities.
Coach Kalen DeBoer, coach, appreciate all your time. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.